After having my son, his father and I's relationship was not a good thing. We did get engaged, but 2 weeks prior to the wedding, he called it off. And after he called it off, I started partying very hard. And I met a man that was 30 years old with, he was divorced, 2 children. And I dated him for maybe 3 months. And then I was afraid that I had become pregnant. I knew I was in a relationship that I didn't want to be in, and I didn't want to continue. So at the end of March of that year, I got the nerve to tell him that I wanted to call it off. And when I told a friend at work that I was pregnant, she told me she knew I was very upset about it, and she was a close friend, and she told me that she knew where I could get an abortion. So I took that route. She took me to the clinic, and after a couple of visits there, my abortion was set up in the States. I had to have it done in the States because at the time there was no abortion clinics here. But the following year, or in 1983, 2 years later, Henry Morgentaler was all over the news with trying to open up an abortion clinic here. And that also brought all those feelings back to the surface. It was in April of 1981, and I don't recall the exact date because I tried to block it out of my mind. I don't remember the clinic, but what I do remember is I walked in, I signed some papers, and then I paid them some cash, and the procedure was done. In the room, it was cool. They gave me a Valium, and then the next thing I remember is suctioning noise, and then it was over. I traveled home, and I could feel great relief then, but very soon numbness came back to me, and I just tried not to think anything of it from then on. I basically didn't feel anything. I just felt lost. I felt alone, I felt lost. I kept trying to tell myself that I had terminated a pregnancy, but of course, I come to realize that I had ended my baby's life. So following the abortion, I met my husband, my now husband, and he's been a great support. When I told him about the abortion, he told me that he wished I hadn't had it because he would have taken on that child too, not just the first one I had, but also the second one.